And lastly, is survival in numbers. We want to make sure we work as a team and we involve others. This whole presentation with widgets incorporated, it was done by a report developer, a guy who's certified and understands business intelligence, analytics, and he worked in tandem with a graphic designer, me. So we found out here at Lancet that this team approach is basically a great way to crank out dashboards, and not just great working dashboards, but great looking dashboards that also work. So it's kind of a dashboard factory, and we've found out that this is what works, and this is why we're here talking to you about it. So hopefully you can kind of even work that into your own work and maybe for your customers, team approach. So knowing that, ask yourself at the end of the project and throughout the project, does your dashboard meet business objectives that you set initially? Can users navigate effectively? And lastly, is there design assistance required? You need to polish up this dashboard. So what we want to do is we got to this point, this whole dashboard, and it looks okay, except for the colors. I think it looks okay, but we can do a little bit better job too. Again, the most important thing is that we're showing the information in a great way. I think we did that. Now let's see if we can just polish it up. So I took my experience in dashboard design and in web design and overall graphic design, and I took all this information here and made it look like this. Now, it's kind of it seems like an overwhelming change, but it's nothing's different. Nothing really changed in terms of information. Just the presentation changed. Now a little bit more obvious that you're looking at KPIs, or you're looking at different segments of information, whether it be revenue by subcategory, monthly revenue, and profit trends, because it's encapsulated, it's enclosed, it has obvious titles, and it's just a little bit better than here. Even though these titles are bigger, take up more space, I still feel it's a little more obvious that it's segmented in this fashion. So it's actually a working dashboard. I took that mock-up in just about a day's worth of work, got it approved, and went into MicroStrategy, and I was able to build it out into this working dashboard. And it does exactly what this previous dashboard did. It just looks different. So team approach is probably the way to go if you have access to a graphic designer. Definitely take advantage of it. We do it here at Lancet, and we believe it's really paying off. And our customers especially are loving the output that they get from it.
Yeah, and with that team approach too, it's not just the Lancet resources. It's the business leaders and the end users from the clients that we work with that play a large role in the success of our dashboards as well.
Absolutely. So, creating a dashboard is a process. There's going to be many iterations through its life cycle. There's going to be milestones. So you want to make sure that by involving others, that you're going to be embracing constructive criticism, especially not afraid to push the envelope or bend over backwards sometimes to make things happen. You also need to know when to push back a little bit. You are the BI practitioner. You're the professional. Sometimes they rely on your expertise. Sometimes they're going to ask for things, and maybe it's a little bit unrealistic, out of scope. There's a lot of give and take. Don't be afraid to push back, and at least be professional about it and say, hey, that's possible, but here you go. And sometimes business leaders especially, they might not understand the work behind it, but they might understand the dollar figures behind the work. So just be upfront, professional about it, and I think it'll work out. Consult with peers. I kind of touched on this before. Working with a dashboard, working with data, you're probably so into it, it's very easy for you to understand what you're looking at, but it might not be easy for the end user. So it's important to ask people to weigh in on designs, test prototypes throughout the iterations, throughout these milestones, because what you might find out is surprising, and you might find some red flags that you weren't seen, but because you asked questions and you asked somebody to take a look at it, it probably saved you hours of work down the road. We've heard from people many times that they heads down into a project for even months, and they delivered it, and the end users, even though it's iterative, the end users said, "What is this? It doesn't make sense for it this way," and they had to redo everything. So that's kind of what you want to avoid. And lastly, consult a graphic designer, because as you saw in those examples, they can just add a professional and polished touch to it, and they can provide assistance with layout and usability. They can, with your peers, they can weigh in on the usability and test drive prototypes for you, and help you with just a good overall design approach.